A 95-pound Cane Corso was abandoned at a truck stop outside Tacoma, Washington, when his owner went to prison. Chained to a guardrail for 2 days before anyone called it in, Rocco sat in a shelter 87 days after that. 195 pounds of muscle that made families walk faster past his kennel. Then, a young father whose wife was in the hospital fighting cancer, raising their blind daughter alone, took Rocco home. And 5 months later, a hallway camera recorded why a dog that size would not let that little girl stand anywhere by herself. And it was the reason she is alive. Marcus Hale was 32, and for 8 months his life had narrowed to 2 rooms, a hospital and a house. His wife, Elena, had been fighting an aggressive cancer for 8 months, and he spent his days driving the 20 minutes between her hospital bed and their daughter. The girl's name was Lila. She was 6, blind since birth, and knew the house by its 40 steps. She navigated by memory and sound, counting steps, trailing her fingers along the walls, brave the way children are who never knew another way. But Marcus lay awake afraid of one thing, that in a house he could not always watch, his blind daughter would take one wrong step in the dark that was her only world. I still see you haven't subscribed. Rocco was the dog nobody wanted, and in a minute you'll see what he became to a little girl who could not see him at all. Tap subscribe first. He was not looking for a dog. He was at the Tacoma shelter dropping off blankets when he passed a kennel where a massive black Cane Corso sat watching him with amber eyes. A volunteer said Rocco had been abandoned at a truck stop, calm and gentle, never a moment of aggression, but nobody wanted a 195-pound dog with a hard luck past. Marcus almost walked on. Then he thought of Lila, alone in a dark house, and knew a steady presence was exactly what she needed. He brought Rocco home not knowing what would happen. Lila came in, feeling her way, and Rocco crossed to her and pressed his broad side gently to her legs, giving her something solid in the dark to find. And Lila, who had spent her whole life reaching into empty space, put both hands into his fur and smiled. From that day, Rocco became Lila's eyes. Nobody trained him. Rocco walked on her left side through every room, a warm, moving wall between the little girl and every hard edge. When she came to the 13 stairs, Rocco stopped, and the press of his body stopped her too, until she found the railing. Wherever Lila stood, 195 pounds of Rocco arranged himself between her and the nearest danger. And if she stood alone, Rocco was already at her side, giving her something to lean on in a world she could not see. Marcus put a camera in the hallway, the kind that streams to a phone, so he could watch Lila from the hospital. He thought it would ease his own fear. He did not know it would save his daughter's life. If you have ever leaned on someone in the dark, you already know what this felt like. It happened on a cold night in November, near 1 a.m. Elena had taken a turn near 11 p.m. and Marcus had rushed to the hospital, leaving Lila asleep with a neighbor downstairs. After midnight, an electrical fault in the old wiring behind the kitchen wall began to smolder, and smoke filled the downstairs while the neighbor dozed. Lila woke to the smell, disoriented, in the pitch dark that was always her world. She got out of bed and stood in her doorway and did not know which way was safe. She could not see the smoke. She could not see the stairs. She only knew something was wrong and stood frozen at the top of the stairs, alone, one step from a fall. And Rocco did the thing that saved her. The hallway camera caught all of it. It shows Lila at the top of the stairs in the smoke, swaying, lost, and Rocco 20 feet away. It shows Rocco come out of the dark at a run, and instead of heading down toward the door and air, he put himself between Lila and the staircase, backing her from the edge she could not see. Rocco did not let her step forward. He turned her with his weight from the stairs and stayed pressed against her, barking loud enough to wake the neighbor and bring the fire crew, keeping the blind girl on her feet until firefighters came up through the smoke and found Rocco wrapped around a child, refusing to let her fall. The same 195-pound Cane Corso that families walked past, the same dog chained to a guardrail and left, the one nobody wanted, the same dog with the steady amber eyes. He was not dangerous. Thrown away by the one person supposed to keep him, the first time he was given a child who lived in the dark, he became her eyes, and then stood between her and a fall she never saw coming. Elena came home that spring, her cancer in remission, to a family of 4 because a 195-pound Cane Corso had made sure of it. Marcus told their story to a local news station, and the Tacoma shelter was flooded with people asking about the big dogs, the abandoned ones, the ones with hard pasts. 4 dogs that had waited over over a year went home in the 2 weeks after it aired. Today, Lila is 8. Her mother is well, and Rocco is still her eyes, walking her left side, stopping her at every stair. Rocco is 5 now, gray in the muzzle, slower, but in 2 years has never once let that little girl stand alone in a space she cannot see. And every day, a 195-pound Cane Corso still moves to her side the moment she stands, still gives her something solid to find in the dark. Because being the eyes of a girl who cannot see has always been Rocco's whole job. We look at a big dog with a hard past and decide he is dangerous and walk past. We never ask whether the one the world threw away might be the one who never leaves a child's side. Sometimes the dog nobody wanted is the one who will stand in the dark with you and never let you fall. So tell me, did Marcus rescue Rocco, or did the dog nobody wanted become the eyes of a girl who needed him most? Drop your answer in the comments, and if a dog the world gave up on ever became someone's guardian, say his name below.